The flashing red and blue lights lit up the dark road as Malcolm Bennett pulled over, gripping the steering wheel tightly. His heart pounded. He had done nothing wrong. But he already knew what was coming. A tall, burly officer strutted toward the car, tapping his flashlight against the window. Officer Brad Turner, a name spoken in hushed fear within the black community of Oak. His reputation for harassing and framing innocent black men was no secret. License and registration, Turner barked, his hand resting on his holster. Malcolm handed over his documents, his fingers steady despite the tension. "Is there a problem, officer?" Turner smirked. "Step out of the car.
Now."
Before Malcolm could even respond, the officer yanked the door open and dragged him out. Within seconds, he was slammed against the hood. Pain shot through his ribs. "What's going on?" Malcolm demanded. "Under arrest," Turner sneered. "Possession of stolen goods. Resisting arrest." Malcolm's eyes widened. "That's a lie. I didn't." "Shut up." Turner shoved him into the back of the police car. As the vehicle sped toward the station, Malcolm exhaled slowly. They had no idea who they were dealing with, but they were about to find out. Meanwhile, back at the station, Turner made a phone call. "We got another one. Judge should be an easy win." On the other end, Judge Harold Whitaker chuckled. "Good work. Let's make sure this one never sees the light of day again." Malcolm sat in the courtroom, his wrists cuffed in front of him. Judge Harold Whitaker glared down with cold, piercing eyes. He and Turner had worked together for years, sending innocent black men to prison for crimes they never committed. The trial? A joke. The prosecutor presented fake evidence, a stolen watch supposedly found in Malcolm's car. No fingerprints. No proof. Just Turner's word against his. "Your Honor," Malcolm's lawyer, Vanessa Green, argued, "this is a clear case of racial profiling. Officer Turner has a history of misconduct. My client is innocent." Judge Whitaker sighed dramatically. "Enough, Ms. Green. Let's not turn this into a racial issue. The evidence speaks for itself." Malcolm clenched his fists. The judge wasn't even trying to hide his bias. Turner took the stand, putting on an Oscar-worthy performance. "I saw the stolen watch in plain sight on the passenger seat," he claimed. "He got aggressive, tried to resist. I had no choice but to arrest him." Malcolm could barely contain his anger. The way Turner lied so smoothly, so easily, it was sickening. "The verdict is guilty." Whitaker barely hesitated. "Mr. Bennett, you are sentenced to 5 years in prison." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Malcolm stared at the judge, unreadable. Then he smiled. Whitaker frowned. "Something funny, Mr. Bennett?" Malcolm leaned forward. "You should have checked who I was before framing me." The judge stiffened. "And who exactly are you?" Malcolm's smile widened. "You'll find out soon." As he was led out of the courtroom, Malcolm whispered to Vanessa, "Make the call." That night, the media exploded. Malcolm wasn't just a businessman. He was the son of a powerful U.S. senator. And not just any senator. Senator William Bennett, a man with deep political ties, a spotless record, and a zero-tolerance policy for corruption. By morning, the FBI was in Oak. Agents raided the police station, seizing records, body cam footage, and internal documents. Then, they arrested Officer Turner. Turner, pale and sweating, was dragged out in handcuffs. "This is a mistake," he screamed. But it wasn't. The FBI uncovered a years-long conspiracy. Judge Whitaker and Turner had been working together, fabricating evidence, taking bribes, and sending innocent black men to prison. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed Malcolm. "Mr. Bennett, how do you feel about today's events?" one journalist called out. Malcolm looked straight into the camera. "Justice isn't about power. It's about truth. And today, the truth won." But this wasn't over. As the FBI dug deeper, they found hundreds of case files with forged evidence. Families of victims spoke out, sharing heartbreaking stories of loved ones wrongfully imprisoned. Then came the biggest revelation. The corruption ran deeper than anyone imagined. The governor was involved. The bribes didn't stop at Whitaker and Turner. This was bigger than anyone had realized. Malcolm's case? It wasn't just about him. It was about exposing an entire system of corruption. A month later, Judge Whittaker stood in front of a new judge, shackled and humiliated. His crimes were exposed to the entire nation. "You abused your power," the judge said. "And for that, you will serve 20 years behind bars." Whittaker turned, his face burning with rage. "You ruined me," Malcolm chuckled. "No, you did that to yourself." As for Turner, a life sentence. More victims came forward. His crimes ran so deep, his sentence doubled. But the FBI wasn't done. Half the Oak police force was now under investigation. The once untouchable governor? Forced to resign in disgrace. The system had failed too many. But this time, justice fought back. And Malcolm? He walked free, stronger than ever. He launched an organization to fight wrongful convictions, making sure no one else suffered like he almost did. Months later, as Malcolm sat in his office, his phone rang. "Mr. Bennett, there's another case you need to see. A man just like you, framed and sentenced to life." Malcolm took a deep breath. "Send me everything." As he stepped out of his office, he whispered under his breath, "They picked the wrong man.